Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It's Wednesday, July 12th. I'm Ryan Miller, and out of the woods and into our hearts is Matt Amberg.
It was a rough time. There was some poison ivy involved, and I'm itchy, and there was a large mammal who kept yelling words at me. But I'm back.
You jet setter.
I am.
You want to tell us about this? Can you plug your show?
Plug your show. I will plug my show. I got to guest host on the Damn Woods this week with my friend Jake. It was fun. I got to record a couple of shows with him. The first one came out yesterday. There's another one I think comes out the same day ours does. So I think it comes Wednesday.
I forgot they did 2 shows too. When we were talking about like splitting things up, we were putting the word out. It was like, hey, what does everybody think about this? You know, everybody, blah. They were one of the ones that answered. It was like, it's working for us. And I was like, oh yeah, you guys do that.
They do. It's true. Sense. And then there's a third backer podcast. They have a Patreon that maybe someday we'll also have one. Who knows?
Another good idea.
Yeah, you know, we're not very bright, but it was good. We talked video games and music and politics.
So stay tuned.
Yeah,
or something.
Listen to the podcast, but listen to this one too.
So what's next for you? Where do you go from here?
It's all up. That's what I can see. Is the sky is the limit now? You know, but my name is out there. People love me again.
So look for Matt on your favorite episode of
Cheers. And
Cheers. Is that a podcast?
You know what? I may just digitize myself into it. There's some dead space in there.
Let's get some good Forrest Gump footage going on there of you shaking the hand of President Nixon behind the bar.
Right, yeah, while Norm is looking on.
Hey, that can't be the only thing you did this week. It very well could be, since I haven't talked to you a whole bunch.
It wasn't. I did one other thing this week. On Sunday night, we had tickets to go see a musical band.
I did know that, actually.
We actually had tickets. So the band we wanted to see was actually the opener. We don't even like the headliner. We have no interest in them. We tried to get
that situation.
We tried to get into them prior to the show, like weeks up. We were listening, throwing songs back and forth, and Beth and I are like, this band just sucks. Like, I just can't get into anything they're doing. So the band in question here was the Avett Brothers.
The openers or
those were the headliners.
Okay.
Openers were this band called Shovels and Ropes. So the Avett Brothers are like a full. I think there's 3 of them, and they've got like a full band. I don't know. Here's the thing: we went up to Red Rocks. We paid full price for tickets. Went and saw Shovels and Rope, and they were real fun. They were a good band. I like them a lot. It's a husband and wife duo that's just the 2 of them on the records, just the 2 of them in like live. They play. They're multi-talented.
They don't have any backup at all.
No, it's just them. They're both vocalists. They both play drums. They both play keyboards, harmonica, guitars. So for the most part, it was just one guitar and then one of them on the drums, and occasionally one of them would be playing the drums and the keyboard. Because why wouldn't you? They have a full drum set, but they really just mostly use the kick drum and the snare and like a cymbal here and there. But they're fantastic.
I've never heard of them, like duos like that, not bringing at least some back. I've seen I don't know if you listen to Mates of State.
Nope.
Low.
Yeah.
Okay, both husband wife teams, but they always have. Okay, Low actually has a third that's always with them.
I'm excited.
Either way, there's always backing, so that's cool though.
They're very, very talented people. Why is this woman in front of my house taking a picture? Hi, person I don't know taking a picture. I'm sitting in the...
Dude, I mean, you've been on numerous podcasts at this point.
I know, there's fanfare outside the house.
We've kind of been expecting this for a while, if you think about it.
There's fanfare outside of the house.
Hey, by the way, your house is for sale.
It could be. I don't know. I'm not in charge anymore. So the
shovel and ropes.
Shovels and rope. Yeah.
Shovels and ropes. One rope, 2 ropes.
1 rope, 2 shovels.
1 rope. Shovels and rope.
There you go. Yeah. So they came out and they played for about an hour. They played a bunch of songs we knew, a couple songs we didn't. They didn't play the one song I was kind of hoping for.
A largely popular song, or just kind of your favorite?
No, it's just my favorite. They're the most popular song they have. They did play. There's a song called Birmingham, and they're a band that's this kind of like folk country thing. So something a little different for me. I really liked them though. I am excited also to see next weekend. I'm actually seeing, or this coming weekend, I'm seeing another set of married couples, actually 2 sets of married couples. And I don't
know if we want to talk about this on the air.
And we're going to, because it's going to be filth. I'm not sure if they're going to bring a backing bands with them, because we're seeing Hall & Oates with Tears for Fears.
That's coming up. Wait, that's next week?
Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Or
all right.
Saturday, actually, I think.
We're deep into the summer concert series here at Zero Hit Points.
It's exciting. I don't actually have a ton other.
You don't have any other bands you want to talk. You don't have any. I feel like you have something else you wanted to talk about, unless you've changed your mind in the last hour or so.
I mean, I watched some movies, if that's what you're getting at. I don't know.
It could be.
Oh!
It's all up to you.
Here's the thing about
I don't want to force your hand.
This is a new podcast for me. I've been doing this other one for a little bit now, so I'm just let me.
Yeah. It's going to be a separate podcast. Just give us some time. Until then, maybe you could try this old format we've been using.
It's so hard.
Let me know what you think.
It's all right so far. I sat down and I watched all of the brand new recently released Castlevania TV cartoon show from the Netflix, starring Richard Armitage as Trevor Belmont. Also, Matt Frewer, who was Max Headroom, is in it, so that's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Frewer is Headroom? Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the first dude?
Richard Armitage. You're
better at names than I am.
He's been in some movies. The only thing that I can pick him out of, because it's the one thing that I remember, is he was one of the hobbits, or one of the dwarves in in the Hobbit movies.
Okay.
He was. I don't remember which one. I think he was the main dwarf.
No, that's enough. I know exactly who you're talking about now.
But yeah, he's.
Wait. No, he's not Gimli.
No. He's the Hobbit movies, not Lord of the Rings. The one.
You're right. No, Hobbit's a bunch of. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
yes.
He's one of the 13 dwarves that Snow White and Frodo have to take.
By the
Bilbo
way, we say
to.
Little people.
Oh,
actually.
Thank you. People are always so afraid to correct. To say, hey, you know what? Gently remind you that you're a piece of human trash. So thank you. That Castlevania cartoon, man, it's 4 episodes. And really, it's kind of only 3. The first episode is pure backstory. It's here's why we're seeing the Belmont come back. Because the movie is about Trevor Belmont, who's the last living Belmont. And the first episode is also, I think, the only time you actually see Dracula. He shows up in the first episode, and they give you this great backstory on why Dracula is super pissed off at this whole region of people. And it starts off immediately with that. And then as the episodes progress, it's great. They're 30 minutes long, so it's 2 hours, and they're split up really nicely. The animation is gorgeous. The voice acting is fantastic. There's some real gory scenes in it. It moves quickly. It never you're never bored with any of it. It never focuses on anything for too long that's not interesting.
I'm into that.
And they did just a good job of making it it feels totally like a Castlevania story. I could totally see this playing out as a game.
Yeah, they should make a game out of it.
I don't think it'll work as a game, but as a TV show idea for a game, it kind of is cool. Let's Street Fighter the movie this thing. We're making this game on the TV show. Do you want to digitize Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Every day of my life.
Get digitized.
Story's good though.
Story's good, yeah. It's definitely a revenge story in one sense. It's a reclamation story in a completely different sense. You get some really good character build-up for clearly it ends on a total there's going to be more. It's a cliffhanger, but
gotcha. Well, because, yeah, I mean, the moment you told me there were 4 20-minute episodes, or 30-minute episodes, I kind of figured that anyways.
Yeah, and this is totally how do you get all of the characters you'd find in a Castlevania game? How do you get the variety there? with like the magic and even the later games you had Alucard. How do you get all those characters into this? And that's kind of what this season was. It was building up to letting the Belmont go after Dracula, because this whole season is not about him going after Dracula at all. It's about the aftermath of what happens when you piss Dracula off, essentially. And it's great. I highly recommend it. Check that. Like I said, the first episode is definitely a backstory. It's total prequel. None of the characters from the rest of the show, none of the main characters are in that point.
That's fine, man. Shown. Like, do that. Keep it interesting. Great. Like, I hope they have a game plan for, like the reason it's like that is because they have a place they want to go within such and such amount of time, not just for as long as people will pay for it or watch it.
And the direction they're going, the way. So they actually call out one of the things specific in the game about how the castle looks and how it kind of moves around and stuff. That's part of the whole story.
Cool.
So
pleasant surprise that would be good kind of type thing,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on my list. Cool.
We also watched another flick called XX. It's a horror movie that's an hour and 20 long, I think.
Okay.
And
sounds great.
You might want to check this one out. This one might be up your alley. Like, you might actually really enjoy some of this. The first story in particular, fantastic. So it's called XX because all of the directors and all the stories are written, directed, and from a female perspective. So they're all female-led, strong female run shows here. And there are like I said, it's a bunch of shorts. The first one, just mind-blowingly good. I loved it so much. They did one of the things that I've never been a fan of, and I've talked about this probably 1,000 times. CGI is something I'm very, very picky with, and especially in horror movies. You should be. Mm-hmm. This is one where they use CGI in like one scene, and it's one of those CGI moments where it can go real bad because and I can't explain why, because it gives the conceit of the whole thing away.
Sure. Okay.
But the effect they used and the way they film it, Jovanka Vukovic actually did this one. I'm excited because she has the director's name is Jovanka Vukovic.
One more time.
Bless you is what you say after somebody Jovanka Vukovic is.
You're right. I'm doing the joke wrong. Dang.
She directed it, and it was adapted from a short story that's out there already, but it was a great story. The second story, probably, again, another one that's super high up there for me, because out of nowhere, I wasn't expecting to see... Thank you. I wasn't... a little bit of a tape delay. It's fine. I was not expecting to see anybody I knew in the movie at all in any of the stories, and out of nowhere, Melanie Lynskey popped up, and I love Melanie Lynskey. She is one of my favorite actors working right now. She was one of the other movies I watched just recently, again for like the fourth time, was I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, and she's the star of that movie. So
okay, cool.
I had a Melanie Lynskey weekend here because I watched I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore on Friday, and then this on Saturday. So the last two stories, they're good. They're totally solid stories. They didn't stand out as much to me. The final one does it, like, perfect wrap up for the grouping. Really, like, real strong beginning, real strong ending. The middle is exactly kind of what the middle is for a lot of those types of movies, where it's like a bunch of vignettes, where the middle you get some good stuff, maybe some not so good stuff.
How many different shorts?
4.
Okay.
So
and the shorts are related, same universe, or they're literally just okay.
Just
cool. All right.
They are. I will. So there is one little bit that the connective tissue there is no real connective tissue, but the way they swing from one story to the other is through some really, really, really good stop motion, some really disturbing stop motion stuff, and it's great. Yeah, all it's very cool. And then finally, I've decided to put on the cowl once again and begin watching Batman movies.
You watch those movies with the cowl on, don't you?
I do. I've got I will have to go get it one day, and I'll wear it. I have a onesie that's a full Batman onesie with a cape, and it's cool.
I just picture you showing up to like your wife sitting on the couch watching TV, and you jump in front of her. Guess what?
I have
Batman
before.
onesie.
I
Yeah,
actually,
okay.
when a friend of ours came to stay with us for a few days, like she showed up, I ran downstairs, put that on because it's really warm. Ran back upstairs, and she came in. I was like, Bridget, I'm Batman. And she fell over laughing. It was too funny. It's gross. It's so disgusting seeing me in that thing. It's awful.
Wait. Wait. I've been joking this whole time.
I'm not joking. I have a Batman onesie.
Okay. All right.
You want me to go put it on?
No. That's I.
You want me to take it
I
off?
believe you. There's no way. What movie did you watch?
I watched a multitude. I watched finally put this one into the beta max and hit play. Watched Batman v Superman.
Okay.
I like that movie. That's
0 hit points. Doubly unapologetic about Batman versus Superman. Everybody. Oh,
I'm actually a fan of that movie.
This is
I
what
like
you come
it a
here
lot.
for.
I will. You know what? Hey, guess what, freakos? Michael Keaton's still number one, but you know who's number two? Batfleck.
Okay,
No
you said that
question.
to me. It sounds offensive at first, but when you think about it,
Definitely
I think I'm
offensive.
with you. Like, what else would you do? I mean, maybe Bale, I guess, would be everybody else, but he was never like I don't go to the Nolan trilogy for Bale as Batman. Like, that's not the draw in any way, right?
Not at all. Batman.
He's good. I like him as that. The voice is stupid.
Batman in that trilogy is not the trilogy. Like that's a vehicle for stories that he wanted to tell, and it's the best way to tell them is through that character.
But then, yeah, and then after that, all you have is Clooney. Sure.
No. Just no. Period.
Well, I guess we're not going in order because we put Kilmer before Clooney, right?
Oh, okay. Here's my thing. I actually really love Kilmer's Batman. I like Batman Forever. I don't think it's a tremendous movie by any means, but I really like the movie because it was the move from Burton's darker, like that almost it's not taken from Frank Miller, but it's definitely that Burton-esque Frank Miller, the darker idea of Batman, the goth Batman, if you will, to the more comic book Batman. Like Batman Forever was comic book left and right. It was pulled from pages of comic books with all those colors. And I like him. I buy him as Batman. I buy him as Bruce Wayne. I think it works. That script sucked. That was a bad script.
I wouldn't even, dude. The script isn't even what bothers me about that. I'm totally with you. It's the Joel Schumacher-ness of it, and not it's like the bad Joel Schumacher-ness of it.
Sure,
because he's done fantastic movies before. What was the one we talked about?
Lost Boys
show, Falling Down. But no, there was one I actually watched.
Yeah, Lost Boys.
Been a while. No, I don't know if I've seen that actually. But just the whole how that thing goes to a freaking circus. And it's not that they added the colors and they made it more comic booky. It's that it's at a freaking circus, basically.
They literally do it at it. They actually literally show the circus too. Yeah.
That's what turns me on. But everything else, yeah, totally agree. Yeah, fine.
Yeah. But
who's left? Kilmer, Clooney,
Adam West. I mean,
West.
Adam West.
Oh, okay, you're right. We're putting he might be. Is he even a Batman to consider here?
Yeah, I kind of put him in his own category. He kind of sits there with with my echelon of like the Bat folk. It's Adam West and Kevin Conroy, kind of in the same spot. I grew up with both of them in different ways.
Can you hear that?
Yes, I can.
So, most of my city is on fire right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is constant. Just airplanes, helicopters.
Nice.
Just delivering water over on the hill over there.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Got to send the water somewhere.
Yeah, we're on fire.
I mean, I don't know why they don't just send it back to the ocean.
Adam West is a great Batman.
And part of it, of course, being that Adam West has been what a great ambassador for that character, for that show, he's always had a sense of humor about it, or he had a sense of humor about it. R.I.P. Paul Walker.
Dang it!
And
I was building to an R.I.P. Paul Walker.
Yes,
and, that's fine. You got.
I love it when I can throw a wrench into your monkeys. But okay, going back to the
Batman
topic
versus Superman. They're versus each other.
I'm
both of
into
us. It sounds like you might like it more than me. In fact, actually.
I mean, probably, but it's by far not a perfect movie. It's just not at all what anybody built the movie up for me to be. I expected it to be like Suicide Squad. That's awful.
Every other movie in the world, very indicative of how bad Suicide Squad is. Not
true.
Yeah.
Fact.
So
yeah, this
Batman
is
versus
not,
Superman, just one of those.
It could be, you know, yeah, there's some length to it, and that could, man.
Did you see the director's cut or whatever it is?
I haven't. I want to see it though. I do want to see.
No, it's not. I think that was the only. Did I watch
no,
that one?
That's the one I want to see it now because I know I've seen this. Beth hasn't watched it yet, so I mean, I want to watch it.
None of what it adds is worth it.
I don't care. There's definitely some scripting stuff in there. There's a couple of lines that are just real piss poor. But the one that gets me is the one that everybody seems to love to bash is the whole Martha thing. In the context of both of those characters, in the context
so real quick, spoiler, like the movie builds to the point where Batman's about to kill Superman, and kind of the tipping point is he tells Batman to please save his mom, who's being kept captive by Jesse Eisenberg in some way or something, right?
Yeah. Martha.
And then says her name, and then that's also Batman's mom's name, and that kind of snaps him out of it, and then they kind of
it's like
make besties, and that has been a little bit maligned.
And I think my issue with that is that it, again, in the context of both of those characters, it makes perfect sense.
I agree, man. I don't think, because it also it immediately taps into like Batman's reason for being, right? Like it literally evokes his parents, which is why he is who. Like, there's no reason why he wouldn't take a minute when that happened. Yeah, I was totally fine with that part too.
And thank you for saying exactly that, because that totally made me rethink Man of Steel. And the way that while a lot of people may disagree with how Zack Snyder is doing it, this character, like, I'm seeing the arc now. The arc makes perfect sense from Man of Steel through Justice League, him dying into this next thing. And
he dies at the end, by the way.
He does die at the end. The character, like the Clark character, the reason he is the way he is because of his parents. Like he this version. Look at what his father told him. Look at his father told him, hide it. Don't show anybody. Be scared. You're not a hero.
Till his dying day. It died for that belief.
Exactly. And it's like, well, why wouldn't Clark grow up and still be concerned about it? It makes sense in the context of those films. And I enjoyed the movie. And I will say this, I didn't really hate Eisenberg. Should have been
that we can diverge pretty heavily there.
That's fine. He would have been better as the Riddler? Yes. Definitely a better Riddler.
Now I'm just going to be thinking about that the whole time.
That version of Lex Luthor as the Riddler makes perfect sense. However, I'm okay with this version of Lex. I like this version of Lex. He's still overly intelligent. I like that I like Eisenberg, so it's fine. He was fine.
I do like Eisenberg.
He wasn't a standout. It didn't bother me. It didn't impact the story for me for him to be there. He's not in the movie that much as it is, so it just kind of was. It was fine.
I don't like him, but you did invoke the Gene Hackman the other day, which kind of softened that blow, because that was maybe a Lex Luthor that I would have had to warm up to in that time as well. I mean, now you watch it and you're just like, I mean, I saw this movie when I was a kid, so that just seems like that's a Lex Luthor that exists, right?
Sure, right.
But yeah, no, Eisenberg still, it doesn't help that he's given, I think, the worst lines in the movie too.
Oh, absolutely. Agreed.
But,
his motive, he's another one of those characters too, where Luthor's gonna do what he's gonna go out of his way to create Doomsday and this whole. Oh, all right.
It gets a little heavy at the end. Yeah, no, I mean, it works because that's the thing that brings everybody together. Like they needed a third thing. They needed the alien at the end of Watchmen, right? You know.
Right. Yeah.
That's not even it. Like, I straight up just Eisenberg's portrayal, like,
sure,
is what I dislike. Period. So, hey, while we're Batmaning.
Yes.
I feel like we accidentally watched the same Batman movie this week.
We may have. I have never seen until recently The Dark Knight Returns, and I finally watched it. Or The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, whichever.
It doesn't matter.
I came by it a little more dishonestly than you. I came home one day and my daughter was watching the Princess Diaries 2, I think.
Sure.
She likes those movies fine. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to watch the Princess Diaries 3? And she's like, yeah. So we
I really hope
also
that's-
watched The Dark Knight Rises.
Did you frame it that way? Please tell me that's
I
actually
literally
true.
did. No, yeah, I did. And I had her close her eyes so I could get through the movie because she'll see the name of it and stuff like that. And then at least the first 15 minutes, she was sold until she realized, like, I don't know, something happened and she was like, I don't think this is it. And I was like, what? There she is. That's Princess Diary. She's trying to figure out how to find the prince or something. I can't remember. I kept her going for as
She
long
was
as I could.
literally trying to figure out how to find the prince, Bruce Wayne's prince.
That's true.
Slightly different prince. It all makes
She didn't-
sense.
No, she didn't get that joke.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. I don't have really anything good to say about that. Like, everything about that movie was not good.
So, okay. I'm definitely not that far with you. It's the weakest of the trilogy.
By leaps and bounds for me. Like leaps and bounds.
So its problems, I feel like, stem from being a sequel to The Dark Knight. Really, it's a Nolan movie, by which I mean, like, Nolan movies still, and this one I would include, go a little deeper than most movies. Like, there's some thinking there. They're thinking man's movies.
Sure.
And that's there. I think it's harder to find that in this one. It's a little clumsier. Like, I think what I told you is that it's kind of a follow-up kind of in every way, meaning that it's very concerned with kind of wrapping some things up, with kind of even explaining some things from The Dark Knight. So it doesn't stand on its own 2 feet as well, for sure.
This was another one where the best person in the movie was the person who's probably in it the least, and it was Jim Gordon. He was the only thing in the movie that was worthwhile. I'm not a huge Joseph Gordon-Levitt fan. He was fine, great, like totally. That is seriously an entire side portion of the movie. Cut it out. Don't need it. Did not need what, like, he has one real moment where it's necessary for him to be there, and then he's totally useless. Like, everything else he does is good, but who cares?
He's kind of a mini James Gordon, which you're right. Gary
Oldman.
Gary Oldman's not in this thing a whole ton. He does figure in prominently, but his role is basically taken up by Joseph Gordon-Levitt through. He plays what Jim Gordon would be doing in the structure of that story until Jim Gordon comes back, and then they're kind of buddies. But I mean,
yeah, and it was like the way they did that, it was all.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a complete afterthought, because that movie ends, and I tweeted something related to this, but with Joseph Gordon-Levitt being revealed as Robin. That's his name.
Right. His name is Blake, and Tim Blake was, I think, a Robin at one point, if I remember correctly.
Was he? Okay, I guess that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
I thought they just
they never say his first
characters.
name is. I don't think they ever say his first name.
They don't until the very end. That's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe his character was a complete. He's woven into the story, and you're right. He's given that point where he kind of helps bring Batman back, or bring Bruce back to Batman. You know,
right?
But
And yeah.
I wish they would have done it though. I would love to see a movie that's a sequel to that trilogy that kind of starts over and, you know, gives Robin a completely different role, because it's not Batman and Robin. Like, Robin would be the lead, would be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He'd be in the Nolan universe. Like, that movie is interesting to me. Like, I would be into that.
I would honestly rather see it be like almost any other character than. I don't want him to be Robin or Batman. Like, let him be Nightwing. Fine with that. He could be Azrael if you really want to. I guess it's not really interesting to me, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be a complete reinvention of Robin to the point where he would be a good. Now that would be cool if they took him, and if they had. I mean, they've already done it, so it can't be done. But it'd be great. He'd be a perfect Red Hood. Like, I could totally dig him as Red Hood.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, but then we're.
But whole other story. I tried this movie. It just, everything about it was just a flop for me. Like, the whole thing was just meh. It was. There were some fine fights. There was some beautiful cinematography.
Always,
but,
yeah.
But that's, I expect that. Yeah. The
fight's even less so. Like, I don't even know. Like, they're really plotting in this one.
They're very dull.
plotting
there
character.
were one or two bits that were like, oh, that was kind of cool. That was fine. But Bane, love Tom Hardy. Terrible version of Bane. Here are all the things I hate about this Bane.
Is the voice maybe?
Yes. Batman.
There was a time where I defended. Okay, I don't know if I ever defended it, but there was a time where I thought the voice wasn't that bad.
It's awful.
It is. It really is, man. There's no the first line in that movie. I was like, oh, it's as bad as everybody said it was.
It's what happens if I take off your mask? What happens if I take off your mask? It would hurt. For you. It would be
like a 90-year-old guy.
For you. Yeah, no, he's decrepit, like he's all injured and stuff.
Combined
whatever.
With I don't know.
Yeah, he's got mesothelioma.
So why would they do that? They could make his voice literally anything.
They could. And that's what they chose. Like, and that, I'm not a stickler. I've never been a stickler for the origin story, but the way that they just bastardized his story into this, he's a nonsense henchman. And that sucks. Like, he barely shows any of the intelligence.
With any of that.
He barely shows any of the intelligence the character in the comic books actually had when they did Nightfall. And then on top of that,
no, he's totally he's shown as very intelligent. I mean, yeah, he ends up being a henchman, but
not
he's given lines.
He's not nearly as intelligent as everything that he does in that movie does not feel like he did it. It feels like Talia told him to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's arguable because it's in retrospect too, but I mean,
but he's
never shown getting the directions from her.
But the giveaway for me is the moment you see the backstory when it's he's the one who helped her get out of the cave or the pit, and he's taken down, and then she brings him back to life. She makes him better. Poor baby Bane, and then the other thing that choosing the Nightfall storyline and then bastardizing it the way that Nolan did, that would have been fine. And again, it was just, they pulled stuff from different things. They tried to wrap up the Ra's al Ghul stuff, which I don't know why they had to bother with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of this movie it's kind of rehash and cleanup. I'm not a huge fan of The Dark Knight. I think it's a fine movie. I still think Begins is the better of the three. I think the trilogy for me goes in the order that it came out in. But this movie, man, just I think what I'm finding is that I think Christopher Nolan for me is beyond hit or miss. It is incredibly narrow where his style hits me right. And he hasn't done it since Batman Begins, because I think Inception is. God, man, that movie's. He's an incredibly odd filmmaker. I feel like the place he's been put in, because he makes something like Memento,
and that's a hit, man. That
which is
kills
brilliant, right?
Brilliant.
And it has like all of his DNA in there, and then they ask him to make these just freaking blockbusters, and it's. I need to find that article. Somebody did something on this, and I can't remember, but it's basically just this weird, like it puts all his movies in terms of him, because you see the guy and he's very heartfelt. Like, you get the feeling he's still an indie filmmaker at heart. Like, and I think that's why his stuff comes out very, deep. Like when we talk about the level of his storytelling or whatever. But then there's all these things. Like, the other thing I tweeted about was the Bat vehicles. Like, I think all the Bat vehicles in the Nolan trilogy are stupid.
They are.
We've actually talked about how I don't like the Tumbler, because I think it's like, but the motorcycle, with the wheels that turn.
Oh man, it's
so like dumb, dude.
I love that in the comic books that works, because it's like, it is in a movie universe. Some of that stuff is a little harder to sell, and that one was totally. At the minute he uses it the first time, you're like, oh, well, that's going to get overused in some stupid way. And sure enough, Catwoman totally, I'm going to use it because I immediately understand how your massively new technological motorcycle that I've never seen works.
And just to see them in motion, they're like rickety. Like the tumbler like turns, like the whole thing twists when you hit the gas. Like, it's never heard of a torsion bar.
It looks like plastic. It
motorcycle just like jiggling as it goes down. And look, stupid.
It's stupid. So,
but I think that's where. So these Nolan movies, these big Nolan movies, become this weird like thing of him kind of struggling with his indie filmmaker inside while making these huge blockbusters. Like, and there's obviously movies that pull it off better than others. Like, but there's always kind of a line, and I think maybe we just fall on either side of the line because there are points during, especially Prestige and Inception, and even what was the space one? Interstellar, where I feel like they're like walking the line, like of it, the whole thing just falling apart. You know, like none of this makes sense or is worth it. You know, at some point.
And I think and I mean for me, I think you're right because I fall on one side with I think The Prestige. That's a great movie. I love that. I think that's a freaking fun.
Yeah, but David Bowie's in that movie, so
I like Edward Norton Jr.
There's no way that movie doesn't win.
But like. Fine. Yeah, Interstellar was another one where I actually haven't seen the whole thing because I fell asleep through it. 'Cause it's just boring.
He takes his time with that one. I fall on the other side. I think it comes together, but yeah. I'm curious about Dunkirk. Have you seen the previews for Dunkirk?
Yeah.
It doesn't look interesting to me.
At all. It looks so bland.
None of the trailers look interesting, yeah.
That's it for me, man. That's it. The Dark Knight Rises left this reviewer cold.
The only other thing I saw, if we could Batman just a little bit more, was the Lego Batman movie.
Oh, man, I still want to watch it. The freaking animated series, I started rewatching that. It's great. So I'm really wanting to watch this.
It's excellent. The Batman animated series. This one, how did you feel about the Lego movie?
I liked it a lot. It was great.
I liked it a lot, too. I don't think this is as good. In fact, when I talked about looking at these back-to-back Dark Knight Rises and Lego Batman movie, I think I like the Dark Knight Rises better.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges. But
yeah, but I understand. I get it.
Well, the Lego movie was, the one word I always go back to on the thing was frenetic. Like, that thing is all over the place. It's wild in a way that is almost grating at times. Less so for children.
Sure.
But I think it landed it, and I enjoyed it definitely for the most part. Really, really liked that movie. Yeah. This has that same frenetic nature, but it's completely 90% character driven. Lego movie, you're going. There's characters in there, and they're great. But you're going to different places, and what happens there drives you to the next place, right?
The journey, that's a movie where the journey is definitely a character in the story.
For sure,
like
definitely.
Yeah.
This Lego Batman movie, no. It's all around Batman and his relationship with other people. Like coming to, because he's put up a wall because his parents died, and so letting people back in, basically. That's the character arc, and everything serves that. The times they do go places, the plot on its face is the Joker is offended because Batman says he doesn't matter to him. Think it's a comedy, so follow me here.
Right? No, that sounds like something out of the Adam West show.
Yeah, almost. The Joker's basically a good guy. Like they go to fight. He's very concerned with their relationship, but Batman's like, no, you're nothing to me. Whatever. So Joker gets sad, wants to go to the Phantom Zone so he can get all the bad guys. And if he does something super bad, then maybe Batman will hate him enough that their relationship will survive. Even that plot is all couched in terms of his relationship with Batman, and Batman being able to get close enough with somebody, even the Joker, to admit, that part is cute enough. That's fine. But again, the when they go somewhere, it's not attached to the plot. It's like, well, I want to send Joker to the Phantom Zone, and Superman has the Phantom Zone gun, so we got to go to the Fortress of Solitude and get it. It's more of a, it's more of a bad video game in that way.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's a bummer because I think it hurts the movie. Like I don't know why you would focus on character as you're driving.
I guess it sounds like definitely more of a straightforward narrative without the joy of the Lego action.
It's funny, man. Like I laughed plenty of times. Michael Cera as Robin, and he's super, hey, Bat Dad, like the whole time. Very good. I definitely laughed, but there you go.
I still want to see it, so even
you
with
probably still should, yeah.
I'll check it out.
Hey,
I like that.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Did we just do our first movie podcast?
I think.
Tell you what, let's go through the rest of this. We'll see how it goes. And if it doesn't go very well, then this part will be cut right now anyways.
Which is great.
What if video games?
You know what? 0 hit points. It does sound like a video game name, right? 0 hit points.
More and more every day.
I played a video game. Woo!
I hope it was DuckTales.
Woo!
Actually, you know what? That's fine. It can be anything.
It was DuckTales. Woo! Okay. I got 3 or 4 levels into DuckTales, going through the thing to complete all the missions and all that.
I got the Disney Afternoon Collection.
I did. I purchased the Disney Afternoon Collection. It was the one thing I got from the Xbox sale, whatever. Yeah, that game is like so far. Like the presentation on it's great. Simple scroll back and forth to get to the various games. It's got DuckTales, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, DuckTales 2, Chippendales Rescue Rangers 2, and Darkwing Duck.
So are the graphics upgraded? Like we got new sprites here, or it's just HD versions of the, okay. Not even,
I don't know that they're really even HD. They look like they're just like, hey, copy this file over here.
That's fine, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
Honestly, when they do kind of the new sprites, I tend to turn that stuff off. So
yeah, and me too. I tend to play it the original way. And this looks great. It's fine. I totally forgot about pogo sticking all over the place as Scrooge McDuck and running into Launchpad McQuack. Mm-hmm. Forgot about Launchpad McQuack. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, his name is Launchpad McQuack. Why did that come out of nowhere? I haven't seen Gizmo Duck yet, but I'm real excited for that.
Gizmo.
I think but I don't think he shows up until later on. Yeah, it's fine. Like it's a solid port. I did end up testing out my fight pad with the game because it's got a stronger D-pad. The D-pad on the fight pad is a better D-pad, and that helped significantly. The controls are fine with the regular controller. There are those same issues that you kind of run into with any retro game where the controls don't ever feel quite as like pinpoint as they used to. Happens here. They've taken a step to kind of fix that where there's actually a rewind button. So you can you fall, you die, you get hit, rewind as far as you want.
Okay.
And that's cool, because there have been a few times where I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Rewind. Okay, that's how it happened. And then I die again. And
then you die twice in a row in the exact same way.
The exact same way. I just wanted to validate it.
Oh, now I get it. All right.
Yeah, it's good. I did decide after I played DuckTales, I was initially going to go with Chippendales Rescue Rangers, but I freaking forgot there was a Darkwing Duck game, and I loved Darkwing Duck. The cartoon.
I love Darkwing Duck. I don't know if I remember the game.
I never played it. Yeah, I never saw it. So I saw it, but I never played it. And when I'm in trouble, I call DW. Darkwing Duck, let's get dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call
change
DW.
that to the tagline on the website.
Let's get dangerous. Yeah,
or she's a little bit dangerous.
That's actually the only game I played this week. It's been a challenging week video game wise for me.
Yeah, you and me both, man. Like my wife's out of town. Sure. And that takes about a week to happen to go out of town.
Yeah,
well, for 3 weeks now. But same thing. Yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of games. I didn't get a whole lot of games in while I was helping her get ready. / am kind of addicted to doing 2 things at once, even if one of those things is bad.
Yeah.
Just think of all the productivity, though.
You feel bad. I want you to feel bad about this.
I played a lot more Gears of War 4 in the background. So why are you shaking your head?
I just don't understand how you manage this. So to answer
your question, Video Game High School is not a great TV show, but I'm done with the first season now.
So hard to watch. I tried.
It has jokes in there like a character named Games Dean, Grand Theft Auditorium is where the final scene takes place.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, the principal asks the main character, "Who sold you that load of Molyneux?" You know, referring to some.
I get that reference.
Yeah. So, a better TV show. Have you ever watched Better Off Ted?
Better Off Ted. I have to remember if this is the one. No, I'm thinking of Chuck. Not ever watched Better Off Ted.
I'll sum it up in a sentence for you. Better Off Ted is one of the many Arrested Development knockoffs, subpar, lesser Arrested Development knockoffs that came up after that show got canceled. Because everybody knew it was good except for whoever at Fox.
Fox, yeah.
And this is one of those. Like it has a the main character is the narrator, so it totally even has the same kind of structure as far as that goes. Portia de Rossi is actually one of the main characters in it.
Well, it makes sense.
And it has a lot of the same musical hooks, but it's obviously not as good as Arrested Development, but better than Video Game High School. So.
Now, I will challenge you to go back and watch a TV show that is also a high school show called Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. And then you tell me what's better. Because that show... I don't know how much
Gears of War 4 I can handle. But
dude, that show is so funny. I love that show. That was a show Daisy, it was a Daisy era show. And it was one of the few Nickelodeon shows, man. I would sit down and watch that one with her. It was very funny.
Okay. All right. I'll try that.
Yeah,
I'll try your daughter, at this point.
Yeah, you better. Your kids might actually like that one too, because it's very goofy.
Let me end this on an up note.
I
also made it through halfway through, and then I had to bring my wife in on this one. But The Grinder.
Yeah, okay.
Did you try it?
We got halfway through it as well, and both of us were like, "This it has potential. This is not doing it."
Really?
And that it died. I don't
yeah,
care.
There's only one season because it's been canceled. Yeah. But oh man, okay, yeah. So it's totally hitting for me. Like it's Rob Lowe basically plays Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah.
But
Fred Savage is the key.
Fred Savage has never been bad for me.
No, he's always good. I like Fred Savage.
But
Little Monsters.
Okay. Well, you know what? Best. We can trade disappointments then. You might not like The Grinder. I wasn't even going to mention this, but I tried The League during all this and bounced off that.
There is no little part of me that is surprised that was not a hit for you. I still love that show. The first season though is easily the worst.
I kind of got that feeling, honestly.
First and last. The last season the last season was one of those they knew they were done, and everybody was like, okay, let's get one more paycheck out of this. Because that last season, they wrap up a bunch of stuff. I will say this about that show. It has probably the meanest ending I've ever seen to a television program.
The first season wasn't all that nice either. Yeah, I'm not necessarily against that. That's actually a common sitcom trope. Like I've heard it even take it as far back as like W.C. Fields or something, or Seinfeld might be the biggest example where the main character is technically a jerk, you know, or the whole premise of the series is actually quite mean. You know, it's one of the reasons Seinfeld ends up in prison towards the end. Like it's kind of a whole play on that thing where, you know what, these people are actually a bunch of jerks.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that doesn't necessarily turn me immediately off, but yeah, I can see what you're saying about The League.
But okay, when I say like it's mean, but not for everybody. Most everybody's fine. It's really only mean to like a very narrow bit of characters.
To me, is what you're saying.
It could be, I guess.
No. Okay. So video games, right?
You know what? Let's talk about more disappointment.
There you have it.
On July 18th, and then the 19th, then the 21st, up until the 23rd, I will be disappointed because I will be spending my time with you playing the Destiny 2 beta.
On one of those days, yeah. Okay. Starting with a showstopper. 18th is if you pre-order it on PS4. 19th if you pre-order it on Xbox One. And the 21st, it goes open for all, and then it ends on the 23rd. Destiny 2 beta, they've come out with everything that's going to be in there. You get the opening story mission. You get a strike. You get 2 multiplayer modes. You get access to 3 of the classes, which they said like there might. I was trying to look if that was all 3 classes or if there's actually more classes that are coming out.
No, I feel like that's it. But yeah, who knows?
Not
who could possibly know in this day and age?
And then for like a hot hour, you can go into the social space that they're calling the farm. But that's
where nothing, everything is going to be shut off. You're not going to be able to buy anything. The developers said they just want to see how many people they can get into the space at one time.
They want to see how many. Yeah, it's a phone booth of the Destiny world. But yes, so I'm going to play that, and we'll probably end up streaming it or recording it because it's hot. People want to know what you think.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody is dying to know. All of our viewers are screaming, "Hey, Destiny 2, how much could Matt possibly love that one?"
Okay, well, what about this? The Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, also on the horizon, October 4th if you pre-order, and 6th for everybody if you don't pre-order. And then it's over on the 9th.
At least they're doing...
It's fun, right?
Okay, I understand the reasoning behind exclusivity nonsense garbage.
Do you?
The fact that Bungie is doing an exclusivity thing for the beta kind of pisses me off. Like, really aggravates me on a very real level for reasons I'm not entirely sure of. The fact that the Battlefront 2 multiplayer beta is not doing that makes it a way more interesting beta to me for something that I'm not terribly interested in either.
Well, the only thing Destiny's doing different is that there's 2 separate dates for platforms.
Which is, yeah, and that annoys me on a level that I don't understand.
So you're okay with the pre-order bonus aspect?
Fuck, everybody else did that crap. That stuff has been going on forever. I mean, you're not going to change it.
It's the same old, like, towing the line between promotion and actual beta where you're gathering data.
This is total. It's marketing. That's all these betas have become for the most part. I honestly, you know what? I'm saying this right now.
More marketing than man at this point.
I don't think any of these companies are getting actual metrics out of these betas anymore. I think they're just pure for sale. They're just sales things. And
they are.
They're not.
But not.
Not.
Like it's nothing they actually need to know unless you're Battlefield maybe. Anyway, that's just multiplayer anyways. You're not getting any story. Like you get to test out Galactic Assault on Naboo as a 40-player game mode and Starfighter Assault somewhere in the old trilogy. It sounds like one of those multi-stage things they're doing that they did for the first one.
Yeah,
but they won't give any more information about that one.
You will get to play with the various classes and stuff they'll have.
Also,
those are available.
That is right. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this one I am legitimately more interested in than Destiny, but
Destiny 2? Oh,
I know. Who'd have thunk it?
What about Overwatch? What if they got a new character called Doomfist that's still just in PTR, right?
I think he releases yesterday, actually.
Oh, really? So there's an update on my console right now.
I believe so.
Have you tried him in any capacity so far?
I have not. I have not played Overwatch in a long time.
Same, actually. Reading up on this kind of made me miss it. But there's plenty of stuff out there about him, about his abilities. There's actually a lot of story stuff about him, too. I guess comes from the same organization as Reaper, or one of the leaders, in fact.
Yeah, Talon.
Talons.
He's a Talon agent.
That sounds so close to Talent Agent, I'm going to have to readjust maybe his backstory a little bit.
He's a Talent Agent. He goes around, searches for really, really good actors, good musicians, good shots. He's an interesting character. He's got some cool features, I guess. He's got like a 4-shot gun that recharges after you unload on its own. You can't reload it on purpose. It's like a time thing, I think. He's got the Falcon punch, essentially. He's got the Shoryuken punch, essentially.
Uppercut.
And then he's got his ultimate takes him like off the screen, and you get like a giant circle that slowly fills out, and you can move the circle a little bit. Like there's a spot, and as it fills out, you have a time limit on it. But the more the circle fills out,
is the enemy able to see the circle, or just
I assume so. I assume it's like Maze thing, anything like that, where you're going to see but I'm not sure. I haven't played with it yet, but yeah.
I'm sure it's fun.
Doomfist, not voiced by Terrell Crews.
Always a con in my book.
I mean, it's like a Wrath of Khan or like a...
either or. You know, when I make a pro-con list, I do normally spell con, K-A-H-N.
Yeah, so you've got that. Then you've got like Roy Cohn, Juan Perón.
No, Roy. That's
Dan
Ray
Cron,
Combs.
Dan Bien Fu, Fall, Rock Around the Clock. Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's got a winning team. Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland.
Hey, did I mention my city's on fire? I don't know.
We didn't start it. We didn't do it.
Slightly more interesting, maybe not for us, and we certainly shouldn't be talking about it, given who we are. But well, you like sports. What am I talking about? What about esports? Overwatch has been forming this league for a while. They've had a couple takers, and I'm just going to read straight from the Polygon here. But it says, according to a report by ESPN, Blizzard has reportedly secured 6 agreements with teams for the Overwatch League. Franchises in Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Boston, Shanghai, and Seoul, South Korea. The Boston franchise has been secured by Kraft Sports Group, the company behind the NFL's New England Patriots. Meanwhile, the New York franchise will be handled by Fred Wilpon, which if his name was Wilpone, I guess that would be kind of a little bit cooler or
way
worse.
better, yeah.
The owner of the New York Mets, Major League Baseball team.
Missed opportunities there. Maybe change your name, loser.
Well,
you're in the video game world now.
Got enough money, it seems. This is crazy, man. Though people buying into this idea and on this level seems a little nuts. For
the Kraft family, it's not like this is a drop in the bucket for them. You know,
sure,
I mean, the Super Bowl rings when the Super Bowl is won, the team is the one who decides what the rings look like. They pay for it. They buy the rings.
Okay.
Their rings this year, like there are diamonds and emeralds and rubies, and they always have this stuff.
Right.
But
see, this is why I don't play professional baseball, or what was the football?
It's football. Yeah, they do.
Either one. This is why does the baseball get the rings?
They do. Different rings, but yeah.
Do they have diamonds on them?
They can. It really, again, it comes down to the ownership and how they want.
This is why I don't play professional sports. This right here.
Tell me why.
There's no way. I mean, I guess at this point I'm making millions of dollars a year.
Sure. There's
no way I don't sell that ring in a heartbeat.
Okay.
For just money.
Funny story. The reason that most athletes don't sell it right away is because many athletes do not understand money, and a good chunk of them have had to get rid of that ring. In fact, my favorite story being I'm a Detroit Red Wing fan, hockey team.
Do they get rings?
Yep, they do.
Okay.
They also get the cool ability to take the Stanley Cup wherever they want with them for one whole day, which is awesome.
That doesn't have handles on it though, does it?
It does not.
Yeah, see, whatever.
Totally useless story. Cut out that entire thing.
Hey, Shadow of Mordor is going to get an update that allows you to import your nemesis from the first game into the second game. My question.
I don't want to play Destiny in Shadow of Mordor.
No, that you're not, because Destiny you can't import anything because you suck.
But it's my nemesis.
Well, okay. What about this? Do you remember who your nemesis is in Shadow of Mordor? The nemesis system being this kind of dynamic thing that if one character killed you enough times, he leveled up and became a war chief, maybe, or climbed up the ranks to the point where you had to kill him again, etc., or whatever.
Yeah. My number one nemesis was like Flugor the Snot Wargler. He he was not a fan of fire, and I also couldn't use teleport kills on him. So
really,
whatever.
I have no idea who my nemesis would be.
What the guy's name was.
Okay, all right.
There is a key to this though. This is an update that happened to the game now. You actually have to put the game into the system and boot it back up and actually figure it out. There's it'll tell you who your top ones or your top nemesis are.
Which is why this isn't going to work for me because I don't even have that game anymore. But
and I'm fairly certain I don't have the game anymore either.
Well, I didn't. That combat system is very crackable to me. It's the Batman combat, right? It's counters and attacks and specials. I didn't die a whole lot in that game. Like in fact, I was taking down war chiefs without a whole lot of consideration for their weaknesses a lot of the time.
I'm not a good video gamer, so I had to take their weaknesses into account.
Well, it makes me at least a little excited for the sequel because that I've heard is something they are cracking down on. Like they have a hard mode that is very much hard, where you cannot progress unless you're taking into account the weaknesses. Anyways, so yeah,
man,
whatever.
Every video I've watched of that that game looks better and better, and I just can't wait for Shadow of Wardor to come out. And I'm looking forward to it.
They should release it. No, I'm with you.
I think it should come out. That's I think the ultimate thing.
I'll tell you what's not coming out. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has been delayed until the end of the year.
Yeah, I support this 100%. 0HP's supportive of all video game delays.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it means they're working on the game. It could only get better, but now how are you going to play this thing until it comes out?
I don't know. I guess I'll just play it on my PC.
I'm kind of a big fan of delaying games that are already out. Like I feel like there's somebody at Ubisoft right now that's like, we can do that.
Yeah,
they're gonna do somebody delay Watch Dogs 2. Quick!
Yeah, quick! Delay Wildlands. We can fix it.
Sorry,
you can't.
To announce.
Yeah. So this delay though is Brendan.
It's on the final
Gleeson,
release. Yeah, I'm just
or whatever his name is. The guy who's PlayerUnknown. It's specifically because it's for added content. It's not for where they're at now. They're happy with where they're at now. They want to bring the rest of the content that they've talked about out. There's no update on whether this is actually going to impact the Xbox One release. I can't imagine it won't. I don't see why it wouldn't unless they're going to do the early access build in Xbox land too.
I'm pretty sure it's coming out in early access on the Xbox One. So yeah.
And if that's the case, then hopefully this is not affected. Let us play it the way it is and then throw the patch at us at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't. It's obviously doing well enough in early access. Yeah. So
yeah, and he did say that this is going to happen this year. It's still not. It's coming out this year. Yeah.
I think it's cool that he's lending credence to the date so much. Like it's already out. It's making millions of dollars, and here he is being like, it's not going to be ready for 1.0 until we still need to delay it or whatever. Like I think that's pretty cool actually.
I'm fine with it. I think one of the issues people will have is that he came out and said we're not going to be in early access for any more than 6 months. 6 months is our max. Now they're coming out and saying, well, okay, I shouldn't have said that because I put a hard date on something I shouldn't have. I appreciate what he said, what he's trying to do. This is going to be a situation where I don't think they're doing anything wrong here, but if you ever want me to actually believe anything you're ever going to say again, you better not delay it a second time. And it better come out. And when you release it, it better drop pretty bug free. You want this to come out and hit pretty okay.
Whoa. Yeah. Are you drawing the line at game delays here? Like don't delay it twice? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Hey, PS4.
I talk with mouth.
PS4 games have come to the PlayStation Now service.
They have.
PlayStation 4 now on Now.
Yeah. You could play games such as Killzone Shadowfall, God of War 3 Remastered, Saints War 4 Re-elected, WWE 2K16, Tropico 15, F1 25,000, Darksiders 6, Evolve, Max TV, Rezo, Hell Dive. There's games.
Resogun, Grim Helldivers, Broken Age. Let me take over for you. Dead Nation, Apocalypse Edition, Grim Fandango Remastered, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Castle Storm Definitive Edition, Exit Assist Archive, The Other Side of Sky, Kiba's Beat, Nidhogg Super Mega Giant Baseball Foundation Time 100% extra.
Just keep reading the rest of the story while you're at it.
PlayStation Now subscriptions cost I gotta imagine they're feeling the heat of Xbox Game Pass. It seems like because this is something people have been calling for a while.
And I'm very curious how that's doing. Game Pass. I wonder where that's at.
Yes.
What do you know? Tell me. Tell me everything
all
you know.
All I know is what friend of the show, possible employee, very equal partner, Adam Parkin, has told us, in so much that he, remember the show we had where we talked a bunch about Game Pass and how much we didn't know about it or what would happen if things were done?
Yeah.
He did all the work.
Oh,
and it's
nice.
out there. It's on the Facebook.
We should have him come on the show.
Yeah.
For a segment. Yeah. He doesn't know about PC, so I don't know if we could actually get him on the show.
Good. I'm glad we got one of those in there. Stallion83. Have you heard of this fellow?
Oh, he was your golden god. As far as I know, you had like a framed photo of him, like with lays around it, and you'd come out and there's like a little, like you had like a Jobu statue from Major League, and you would give him buckets of chicken and worship it.
That was a Joe's apartment statue, actually.
Okay, it was Jerry O'Connell. Whatever.
Right, yeah.
But you still stuck a cigarette in his mouth and gave him a bucket of chicken.
Number 1 gamer score in the world for 11 years running, it seems like, according to this article. Went off and got married.
Yep, there it is. That's how you lose everything you've worked for. Everything you worked for.
And not to his Xbox, as many people were kind of anticipating. But in the process was then overtaken while he was on his honeymoon, in fact, by Mr. Number 2, which they've actually traded spots back and forth since.
Mr.
Like, I think he
Number 2.
Yeah, Mr. Number 2 is what he goes by. It's
the
a
poop
nickname
emoji
that was given to him in high school. He just never got away from it. But yeah, they've been trading off. I think Stallion might be back on top. Basically,
how much? Okay, what is their gamer score? What is the top number?
Oh, you want me to look? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
At least in that article.
So currently he's at 1,600,985. So he's actually already almost 1,000 points, one whole game ahead of number 2, which we could name if we wanted to. Smirnov is his name. So
number 2, Russian number 2. Not my country.
Which you're right. Larger story has bumped me down to 1,658th in the world.
You are just, I mean, you're climbing, but then you keep faltering.
And in turn, bumping you down to 52,776th in the world.
Hey, that's not too bad.
You are better. How many people are in the world?
I don't know. Like 52,000. Yeah, 52,000. How many? What is my gamer score? What number am I?
52,776.
So there are 52,777 people in the world.
That's, okay, that kind of checks out. Of course, he's going to drop when he gets married. The whole reason he was number 1 is because he wasn't married. If you think about it, these things are related.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. Don't be married. Stay number 1. Get married. Maybe you'll be number 1 eventually some other time again, but probably not.
Priorities.
Yeah.
More concerning, actually, is that Adam, speaking of Adam, he's within like 3,000 of me.
That's sickening. Because...
right?
Were you always... Have you always been ahead of him in that?
I don't know about always, but little known fact, if he does surpass me, he takes my place on the podcast. So...
and actually what happens is it's a chain thing. So you get replaced, bump me down, I'm off the podcast, and I have to do all the editing. So it's just going to get even worse. Like,
oh, it's going to get worse, but I mean,
it's going to get the only way it could possibly get any worse is if we had to do a lightning round.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. We have to do a lightning round. Yeah,
it's 30 seconds on the clock.
Nope.
This is the time of the show where we disagree on everything. The lightning round. This is a part of the show where
that came earlier.
Yeah, well, also that part of the show where we cover the news items that we don't want to spend a ton of time on because they just don't have a lot. There's not a lot to say about them. This week, Ryan Myler, it is your turn at the lightning round. We've got 30 seconds on the clock. The delegates from the various countries are ready for you.
Okay, sure.
Lightning round, here we go. The Firefall servers have officially shut down forever.
I kind of had a feeling there was a problem when their booth didn't take up half of PAX anymore.
Ding!
No.
A Titanfall 2 player's deceased dog has been given a banner in the game.
Sure, I put up a banner for my neighbor's dead dog, and I'm a bad neighbor. Respawn does it, and they're, whatever.
Red delegate from
Shout
Iceland.
out to all my deceased dogs too.
Was your banner just somebody pouring a 40, like the hand pouring a 40 out?
No, it said "Congrats on your dead dog." It was a banner. It was happy. I'm the bad guy.
Grads, dads, and dead dogs. Congrats. Hey, check us out. Just check us out. Look at us when you can. Use your eyes. See us. Look at us visually and say, "Hey, you guys look like humans, pretty much." And
or visit the website.
Guys.
It's 0HITPOINTS.com. I mean,
.com.
I guess we could put a picture of us up there if you wanted to. Two birds.
We shouldn't.
That thing.
Go to YouTube and look at our content there on YouTube/0HITPOINTS. Hit us up at Twitter.
Hit Play is up from last week. We did some Rocket League. Didn't talk about it, but
because it went real bad after not having played for a long time.
We lost all but one, didn't we?
I think we did, and we may have lost all of them. Hit us up on Twitter. We want to engage a little bit more, so hit us up on Twitter, 0_H_P.
Yeah, get engaged.
Get engaged. Yeah, don't get engaged and lose your gamer score. Get engaged, but don't get married is where we're at.
Get engaged to a ton of people. Don't seal the deal.
The deal should stay unsealed
on 0HITPOINTS.
And also, that's the end of the podcast right there. No.
Until then,
that was it.
Thanks. No? Okay.